Hello class. Today we are going to discuss The Diary of a Young Girl written by Anne Frank. Have you heard about Anne Frank? She is a Jewish victim of Holocaust. What is Holocaust? Do you have any idea? So if you want to know the background of this prose or a diary, we have to go back to the First and Second World War. In the First World War, Germany faced defeat. But in the during the Second World War, Germany became more powerful under the Nazi rule of Hitler, Nazism. You might have studied all these in your history classes in your school days. During Second World War, Germans, especially Nazis, they believed that the race, the Jews, Jews is a race and it is a threat to the entire population of the world. So the Germans, under the rule of Hitler, they decided to kill Jewish people. So the Jewish people, they couldn't survive. Some people, they ran away from their own homeland, isn't it? So here also Anne Frank, she is also from a Jewish community and she had to go for hiding, especially shortly before her 13th birthday. She was young, she was just only 13 years old. So when the Nazis were persecuting Jews in Holocaust, so they went into hiding. So during those days, Anne Frank, the little girl, she noted down her feelings and her daily experiences in a diary. So, is anyone from this class, do you have the habit of writing a diary? If so, it's a good habit. After many years, if you go back and if you go through those diaries, that's a great experience. Here, Anne Frank, she was she was scribbling what comes to her mind, and she addressed the diary entries as Kitty. She considered this diary as a friend of hers, and she named the diary Kitty. But she died later on, and after her demise, it was her father. He published this diary, and it became an international seller later on. Actually, this diary of a young girl, it is considered as a moving document of life under Nazi rule. It's a moving document in the sense it clearly depicts. When we go through her diary entries, we can imagine what was exactly happening at that time. It was a time of war and oppression, and she writes about her everyday events in the shelter. Okay, she started to scribble this diary after she went into hiding. Okay, so the food items were not available, the movements were restricted. You might understood what it is because right now, due to this corona pandemic, we know that because of this lockdown and all, our movements were restricted, our individual freedom is suppressed, and some people, they don't have enough food. The food is rationed. And she not only narrated or noted down these life or these kind of problems. She also expressed her relationship with her own family. How was she with her mother? And she also mentioned her lover. She was in love with Peter, and her parents were disapprove of it. Okay, so these diaries considered as uh, it has it's a real life portrait of the real life portrait of Jews at that time. Here they have explained what is Holocaust. The Nazis were persecuted. Why the Nazis persecuted Jews? Because the Jews as a race conspiring to dominate the world and blame them for all the ills suffered by Germans. So the Germans believed that whatever they had gone through, it is all because of Jews. And thus the discrimination against Jews started, and they started to persecute Jews when Hitler came to power. Many Jews, you know that scientist Albert Einstein, Bertolt Brecht, the playwright, all these people were Jews. So all the people who belongs to this community had to suffer, and hundreds of thousands were sent to the gas chambers, and they put into death. Persecution of Jews happened. See, the first entry of Anne Frank, it is on 20th June 1942. It was on a Saturday. And she says that it is a strange experience for her to writing a diary because she is just 13 years old, but she felt like writing. Okay, and she said that paper has more patience than people. It's this quotation or this statement is true, isn't it? The paper has more patience than people. Sometimes, if we try to open up our mind in front of another person, sometimes the listener may be hesitant. They don't want to listen what we are saying. But if we are pouring down emotions on a piece of paper, the paper won't say that stop writing. We can write as much as we can. We can write until we get a relief, isn't it? So this was Anne Frank felt. Okay, yes, she was brooding. She was brooding in the sense she was thinking a lot. And she said, yes, paper does have more patience. And now I am back to the point that prompted me to take a diary in the first place. And she's in this paragraph, she is expressing why she has decided to keep a diary. She said it is because she don't have a friend. Okay, she started writing diary because she don't have a friend. And she said that let me make it clear. No one will believe that 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world. And I have loving parents and 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. Yes, definitely I have my family. I have around 30 people whom I can call as my friend. I have a throng of admirers who can keep their adoring eyes of me. Many people they admire me. I have family, I have loving arms, I have a good home. No, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one true friend. She said that. Yes, I'm not an orphan. I have a family, I have family members, I have friends, but I don't have a friend. That is why I have decided to write a diary. This is what she stated. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get closer. So she wanted to open up her mind. Even though she spent some time with her so-called friends, she don't felt happy with them. Okay, she said that it might be my fault. She is saying that it might be my own fault. So I'm not ready to blame anyone. So as I feel that I don't have a true friend, I have started to write a diary. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way the most people do. But I want the diary to be my friend. She said that many people they do have the habit of writing a diary. But I don't want to follow that traditional or conventional mode. I want to consider my diary as my friend and I'm going to name her. And my friend's name is Kitty. Okay, and here in this paragraph, in this long paragraph, she is describing her family members, especially her father and mother. And she said that her father is the most adorable father she has ever seen. And what is the name of Anne Frank's elder sister? Margaret. Okay, they were made in Germany in 1926. Okay, then so this is a brief explanation or description about her family, and in the next paragraph she mentioned when she started attending school. So she started to attend Montessori schools. What is Montessori? The child-centered nursery school. They focused on child-centered education. She said that she was there until she turned into 6 years old. Okay, then she said that their lives were not without anxiety since our relatives in Germany were suffering under Hitler's anti-Jewish laws. So initially their life was quite normal. But when Adolf Hitler he came into power, the life of the Jewish people became horrible. Pogroms means organized mass killing. After the organized mass killing in 1932, Anne Frank's two uncles they fled Germany and they find this refuge in North America. Okay, when Adolf Hitler came to power, many Jews in Germany they fled to different parts of the world seeking shelter. And in 1940, the times were few and far between. The 1940, it was the time the Second World War about to begin. Okay, capitulation means surrenders. Okay, many people they had to surrender, and the movements, the freedom of Jews were curtailed. So here she elaborately explained how the freedom of Jews were curtailed by the Nazi people. The Jews were required to wear a yellow star. So whenever they go out, they the other people want to easily identify the Jewish people. They should be marginalized in the society. Okay, and Jews were required to turn in their bicycles. They are not allowed to use a motor cars. They should use only bicycle. They should not use street cars. They should not ride cars. Even if the Jews have their own car, they are not permitted to use it. and that they were allowed to go outside for shopping in between 3 and 5 p.m. Okay, then the Jews were forbidden to be out in the streets between 8 p.m. and 6 p.m. If anyone is seen in the streets between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m., they will be punished. And they were forbidden to attend theaters. They were not allowed to enjoy any kind of entertainments. They are not allowed to use swimming pools. So these entire paragraphs, it clearly explains how the Jews' freedom was curtailed by the Nazi people. Okay, you must read it and you must prepare a notes. And in 1941, Anne Frank's grandma, she was sick. So the her birthday wasn't celebrated. So Anne Frank said that because my grandma was not well, my birthday didn't celebrate it. And in the summer of 1940, we didn't do much for my birthday since the fighting had just ended in Holland. And grandma died in January 1942. So uh, Anne Frank she's worried. She said that in 1940 and in 1941 they didn't celebrate her birthday. Poor Anne Frank. Okay, and in 1942 her grandma passed away. So this was what she mentioned in the first day. The second entry is on Friday 9th October 1942. Okay, Friday. This was 20th June. And next she is mentioned here is on 9th October. She addressed her friend. Hey, dearest Kitty. Today I have nothing but dismal and depressing news to report. Hey, today I would like to share a sad news with you. And many Jews friends, many of her friends who are Jews, they were taken away in droves. They were taken by the Nazi people. The Gestapo, man, that is the secret police. The secret police, they were in search of the Jewish people to send them to the concentration camp. The me, one of the Anne Frank's father's friends, me, they informed them that uh, so she is the one who is informing them all these things about someone who would manage to escape from there. It must be a terrible in Western Bloc. The people get almost nothing to eat, much less to drink, and the water is available only in 1 hour. അവർക്ക് കഴിക്കാൻ ഫുഡില്ല അല്ലേ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വെള്ളമില്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വെള്ളം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ എന്താണ്, ഒരു മണിക്കൂറത്തേക്കൊക്കെ മാത്രമായിട്ടാണ് കിടക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് the men and women, they have to sleep in the same room, and the women and children often have to shave their heads. So this is how the Jews were getting tortured. And listening all these things, Anne Frank, she felt terrible. Then the other day, for instance, Gestapo deposited an elderly crippled Jewish woman on Meade's doorstep while they set off to find a car. The old woman was terrified of the glaring searchlights and the guns firing at the English trains overhead, yet Meade didn't dare let her in. Nobody would. The Germans are generous enough when it comes to punishment. സി അപ്പം ഇപ്പം അവരുടെ ജീവിതത്തിലെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയാണ്. ഈ അടുത്തൊരു ജൂയിഷ് വുമൺ, എൽഡർലി വുമണിനെ ഇവരെന്ത് ചെയ്തു, അവരെ ക്രിപ്പിൾ ചെയ്തില്ലേ, ക്രിപ്പിൾഡ് വുമൺ ആയിരുന്നു. അവരെ മീപ്പിന്റെ അവിടെയാണ് ആ ഡോർ സ്റ്റോപ്പിൽ ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചിട്ട് പോയി. ആൻഡ് മീപ്പ് ഷി ഡോണ്ട് ഡെയർ ടു പ്രൊവൈഡ് ഷെൽട്ടർ ഫോർ that woman. Then Bep is also very subdued. Meep had a boyfriend, Bep. So her boyfriend is being sent to Germany. Every time the planes fly over, she is afraid they are going to drop their entire bomb load on Peter's head. So every time they are under threat. അല്ലേ എല്ലാവരും വളരെ പേടിച്ചാണ് അവിടെ ജീവിച്ചിരുന്നത്. ഈ ഗസ്റ്റ് പോയി സീക്രട്ട് പോലീസ് കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ് ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ്ലി അവർ എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോകും. പിന്നെ ജീവൻ എന്നൊരു കാര്യം അവർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. They will be killed. They find specimens of humanity, those Germans, and to think I am actually one of them. No, that's not true. Hitler took away our nationality long ago, and besides, there are no greater enemies on earth than Germans and the Jews. So, it was that time the greater enemies on earth were none other than Germans and Jews. Okay, this is what she said. So, what she mentioned. And the next entry is on 13 January 1943. This morning, she was constantly interrupted and she couldn't finish anything she started doing. And they had a new pastime. അപ്പോൾ അവരിങ്ങനെ ഷെൽട്ടർ ഹോമിലാണ് അവർ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പം അവർക്ക് സമയം കളയാനായിട്ട് അവർക്ക് എന്താണ് പുതിയൊരു ജോലിയുണ്ട്. എന്താണ് filling packages with powdered gravy. The gravy is one of Geese and Co.'s products. Mr. Kugler hasn't been able to find anyone else to fill the packages, and besides, it is cheaper if we do the job. It is the kind of work they do in the prisons. It's incredibly boring and makes us dizzy and giggly. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ ദേ ഹെൽപ്പിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റർ കഗ്ലർ. അപ്പോൾ അയാളുടെ ഈ പ്രോഡക്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ പാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു ജോലിയിലേക്ക് ഇവർ പോവാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഷി വാസ് നോട്ട് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റഡ് ബട്ട് ഷി ഹാഡ് ടു ഡു ദിസ്. Terrible things are happening outside. At any time of night and day, poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. They are allowed to take only the knapsack and little cash with them, and even then they are robbed of these possessions on the way. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ഏത് നിമിഷവും ജ്യൂസിനെ പിടിച്ച് പുറത്തെറിയുകയാണ്. അവർക്കൊന്നും അവരുടെ പൊസഷൻസ് ഒന്നും എടുക്കാൻ പോലും സമ്മതിക്കില്ല. ഇനി അഥവാ ഒരു കുറച്ച് ക്യാഷ് എന്തെങ്കിലും അവർ എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ ഓൺ ദ വേ ദേ വിൽ ബി റോബ്ഡ്. And families are torn apart. Men, women and children are separated. Children came home from school find their parents have disappeared. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ജർമൻസിന്റെ അല്ല ജ്യൂസിന്റെ ഒരു അവസ്ഥ എന്തായിരുന്നു? കുട്ടികൾ സ്കൂളിൽ പോയിട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പോൾ വീട് കാണില്ല, വീട്ടിലെ പേരൻസ് കാണില്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്ത്രീകൾ പുറത്തു പോയിട്ട് വരുമ്പോഴേക്കും വീട്ടിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരും പോയിരിക്കും. And Christians in Holland are also living in fear because of their sons are being sent to Germany. The Christians are also under threat. Everyone is scared. Every night, hundreds of planes pass over the Holland on their way to German cities to sow their bombs on German soil. So all the time, the fighting planes are flying, crows. So ആ ശബ്ദം കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ് എല്ലാവരും പേടിച്ചരണ്ടാണ് ഇവിടെ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. They were in Holland. Children in neighborhood run around in these shirts and wooden shoes. They have no coats, no caps, no stockings and no one to help them. അപ്പം എന്താണ് ചുറ്റും നോക്കുമ്പോൾ വുഡൻ ഷൂസും ഷർട്ട്സും ഒക്കെ ഇട്ടില്ല. ഷർട്ട്സ് ഒന്നും ഇല്ലാതെയാണ് അവർക്കൊരു ബേസിക് നെസസിറ്റീസ് പോലും അവരുടെ കയ്യിൽ ആരുടെയും കയ്യിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. ഓക്കെ, gnawing on a carrot to still is their hunger pangs. കിട്ടുന്ന ഒരു ക്യാരറ്റ് കരണ്ട് നിന്നുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അവരുടെ വിശപ്പെടുക്കുന്നത്. They have forgotten so bad in Holland, and the doors of children stop passerby in the streets to beg for a piece of bread. I could spend hours telling you about the sufferings the war has brought, but I would only make myself more miserable. All we can do is wait as calmly as possible for it to end. Jews and Christians alike are waiting. The whole world is waiting, and many are waiting for death. So the war is going on. The life of these people, especially the life of Jews in Holland, it's really miserable. Okay, so the Germans occupied Holland during the World War. Okay, and this was happening in her life too. Okay, so ഒരു brief explanation തരികയാണ്. So all are waiting for death. It's sure that എത്ര ഒളിച്ചെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പോലും എന്താണ് ഇത് sure ആണ് എന്താണ് ഞങ്ങൾ കൊല്ലപ്പെടും. Okay, this was what she is saying. So with this, I'm winding up this lecture, and I will continue with the three more entries she has made in the next video.